This is one of those videos where I'm going to teach you exactly how to wear less makeup, but with better results. So what that means is exactly what the title is, but you are going to get better results than what you would think you would get with less makeup. Because let's be honest, when you think of less makeup, you kind of think that it's not going to really cover up all the bits that are really important to us. Like, we're not going to get the dark circles covered up, we're not going to get the pigmentation covered up, you know, like you just feel like you're not going to have the most flawless kind of finish, which it's really not going to be as flawless as, say, for example, a medium to full coverage foundation. But the whole point of this is that it's so that you don't have to wear so much makeup, because some people just don't like to wear so much makeup, but they want the best that they can possibly get out of it. And that's what I'm going to be sharing with you today. So moving on, let's get to it. Now I have my skincare on, and please excuse my hair. This is what happens when it needs washing. I've put a mask in there, so it's marinating at the moment. And then when I finish filming, I'm going to jump in the shower and I'm going to have amazing hair. So anyway, moving on, I need to put some primer on. So I'm going to put something that is just going to kind of grip everything to my skin. So this is my Milk Hydro Grip Primer. There you go. I just smooth that on. I don't need to rub that in. Realistically, I'm going to be using a few products. My main thing here is making sure that I don't look like I have dark circles. Everywhere else, I'm kind of like good with having a really nice kind of just veil of color on my skin. So really, I want to be able to use something that is going to be quick, easy, and something that I can rely on in terms of a bit of coverage. The main product that I'm going to be using for my base is a concealer, and I'm going to be using that for all over. So we're not going to be using a foundation. The concealer I'm going to be using is my Too Faced Born This Way Multi-Use Sculpting Concealer. And the reason for that is because it is so multi-use, you can use it as a foundation as well. So you're using less makeup in terms of like products, but also the amount that we're putting on as well. So this isn't just one or the other. So this concealer I'm going to put on the back of my hand, because I'm going to be able to work from that to be able to like just get these dark circles kind of sorted first. Now, what really helps is having a beauty blender that is damp. So I'm going to spray that with my Charlotte Tilbury setting spray and go into this concealer. And then we are just going to dab this onto the lids. This is the first place that I really want to get as flawless as we possibly can. Some people just do not have much discoloration around the eye area, and that's great because it means you probably don't need to put as much concealer as me. But if you do, it's fine to do this because it is the one area that makes everything look really dark around the eyes. Now, I'm using a powder because ultimately this is the only thing that's going to really make everything set. So I'm using my Huda Beauty Easy Bake. And please understand that I always set my eyes this way, so this isn't how the rest of the base is going to go. So I'm just dusting away that powder. There you go. My eyelids are done now. I would really appreciate if you hit the like button, subscribe to this channel, and hit the bell button, because those three things don't cost you a thing, but they actually really help my channel out. They really, really do, and I'd really appreciate it. So please do those three things. So now we want to kind of make our base look good, but not overloaded. We don't want that much product on. We don't want to use a lot of this concealer. So it's really about figuring out how you can water it down a little bit, just so that it's more of a flexible, thin veil on the skin, as opposed to kind of like thick makeup. I am going to mix this base with my Hollywood Flawless Filter. This is number 5. So I'm just putting some of this on the back of my hand. It's only a very small amount, and then I'm going to mix this concealer in with it. It's an equal amount. There you go. Mix it together. And then we're going to get the BK Beauty 106 brush. We're going to grab a little bit of this into the brush. And we're going to slowly buff this into the skin. And this is going to give you a stunning skin finish which isn't heavy, and just makes your skin look so good. Like it's a really amazing illuminated look that you're gonna get. See what I mean? Already I feel like my skin's coming to life. There you go. Look at that amazing base that we've got. We haven't even put any like thick foundation or anything, and there's actually the smallest amount of concealer. Honestly, the amount I put on was one swipe. It's just such a small amount. You don't need a lot. And then I had one swipe of the Charlotte Tilbury Hollywood Flawless Filter in 5. Now this is where we want to get rid of the dark circles on the under eye area. So we're going to be using this concealer to just add a little bit here. Not a lot. It's a very small amount. Just going to do a little dash here and here. Got my Charlotte Tilbury Hollywood complexion brush. Just buff that in. Then we've got my damp beauty blender. And we're going to buff this in around the eye area. Try and keep it there, don't spread it. It's actually such a small amount. And don't press too hard, because you don't want to soak too much of it up. See that? That's given you the coverage. It's enough. That's the trick when you're working with less makeup. Very soft with your pressure. Did I tell you about the beautybreakfastclub.com? I know I did, but you need to head on over and subscribe. It is the place to be for beauty, style, health, culture, everything that you guys want to talk about, predominantly beauty. Everything's written by me, a new newsletter every 2 days. You've got 2 years worth to catch up on, guys. So head on over. There's tips and tricks, there's how-tos, there's problem solving on there when it comes to beauty. There's everything. It's free to subscribe. That gives you access to most of the site, but if you subscribe to the paid version, which costs you the same as getting yourself 1 coffee a month, but gives you way more than a coffee, then you will unlock the entire site, plus you will get to join the group chat where I am too. So that is a paid group chat that we have. There's over 6,000 people as part of this whole community, and it's absolutely amazing meeting so many of you on that group chat. I know a lot of you say that, you know, I don't answer your questions on here. It's because I run so many platforms to be able to give you the most educational beauty content. So if I were to take my attention away from that, then the content is going to struggle and I'm going to be answering questions. But over there, it allows me to be able to also reinvest back into my work that I'm doing for you guys. So please do head on over, ask me whatever questions you want on that group chat. Again, that's as part of the paid version. So don't forget to subscribe. I'm going to use my Charlotte Tilbury Beautiful Skin Sun-Kissed Glow Bronzer because it's so good. And I'm going to use my Hourglass Ambient Lighting Edit Brush. I'm just going to go into this, just take it off on the back of the hand and just kind of sculpt my face a little bit, and it's not a lot. You actually need the smallest amount of this, and that's why I like using this, because it's just really easy to apply. You don't end up with a whole load on your skin and then find it difficult to blend. I'm going to go here because this is going to lift and slim down my face. Always go like that and then go like that, because what that does is it takes the excess off. There you go. See how we've sculpted the face there and it's not too much. It's just enough. It's really about being light-handed as well. Because sometimes we work with so much makeup, and including me, this used to happen to me, but you work with so much makeup that you end up becoming really heavy-handed with stuff because you're working with so much. But if you just soften it a little bit, you'll find that everything just kind of fits in better. I just use the other side to blend a bit, so I just kind of skim over. And then you can also go on the sides of the nose Let's go in with a little bit of cream blush, and I have not used this for ages, so I'm going to use this. This is my One Size Cheek Clapper 3D Blush Trio in Freaky Peach, and I'm using Rump Shaker because it's an oldie but goldie. I'm going to use my Hourglass 15 brush. I'm going to go into that cream blush, take it off on the back of my hand so there's not too much. Okay, let's set this now. Now this is about setting it strategically in certain areas, right? So you don't need to go everywhere pressing powder in, because again, it's about using a minimal amount. So what we want to do is get that powder on the puff. I want to make sure there's nothing on my under eyes in terms of creasing. So I'm just making sure that's not there, and then I'm going to press the puff onto it. Okay, now only press this on the areas, because the eyes are always, you're always going to press the powder in there with either a powder puff or a brush, but you know, because you don't want that creasing or anything, you want that to keep set. But everywhere else, you want to only press this into the areas that maybe you have creases that come out. So for me, it's mainly around, it's probably like just down the center of the face. And I usually go around the brows. There you go. So now that's it. We're not pressing any more in. We're going to grab our Real Techniques brush. We're going to dust away this powder here. Dust away where we've applied it along the center. Right, now everywhere else there isn't any powder. This is where what you want to do is get your Hourglass brush, dip into the powder, but there shouldn't be a lot on this brush, like there's hardly any. If I kind of went like that, you wouldn't see much coming off of it. And now you're just gonna press on, and that's just very lightly set everything. So it's a minimal amount of makeup, and then what I want you to do is get your spray and spray this all over. That's just going to make sure it doesn't look powdery. We're going to do the brows. Now for this, I generally like to use a brow pen. So I'm going to get my brow pen. I'm using my Benefit Mighty Fine Brow Pen. And I'm just going to get these hair strokes in. Now, because a pen does not kind of get into the sparse areas, I'm always having to use a pencil there. So I'm going to use my Benefit Precisely My Brow Pencil. Now, obviously, if you don't need to use this, you don't use it. So I am just gonna fill this in. The next thing that I do is clean my lashes. So I get a wet wipe and I just make sure they're clean, because they can get covered with all the powder and everything. There you go. And a lot of it does actually come off. It's quite surprising. So next I want to curl these. There you go. It makes such a difference. Like a lot of the time you don't even need mascara. Eyes, I think, are fine. So I actually feel like you don't always need to put mascara or a lot of eye makeup on. A lot of the time, a really good base and like well moisturized lips is all you need, and maybe a little bit of lip liner. So, talking of lip liner, I've got my Charlotte Tilbury lip sheet in Iconic Nude. Don't spend time trying to feather it and trying to get it looking really natural. Just draw it in the shape that you like. And then get your finger There you go. And that will basically give you the most subtle lip line that doesn't look like it's heavily drawn in. Now what you can do is go back to another product that we've already used, which is the Hollywood Flawless Filter. Put this onto the back of the hand, get a beauty blender, dab into it, go onto the peaks of your cheekbones, and it's such a small amount, but what we're doing is actually bringing luminosity, that healthy kind of almost glass skin finish back to the skin. See how that just looks more awake now? Let me put a little bit more on, because I didn't think I put enough really. It's pretty amazing when you have a nice matte base, how you can get that almost like that model look. Look at that, that just looks so nice, especially like, I feel like when your hair's like this as well, when it's slicked back, it really does make the most of your cheekbones, even though you may sometimes feel like you don't have them. But I hope this has really shown you that you can get a very good, nice look, like something that is flawless, but not maybe to the level which has a lot of makeup, but it's actually utilizing certain makeup products in a very easy way. No lipstick, no mascara, and you don't need it. You could even use the blush that you used a little bit on your lips. So all we've got is one concealer product mixed with a kind of liquid luminizer, which is a Charlotte Tilbury one, and our powder to set it. Literally that is all that's on our base. And then we've got the same luminizer on the peaks of the cheekbones to really bring those out. And obviously you do your brows however you want. A lot of people don't need to do their brows. They just use a kind of clear mascara to groom them and that's it. So it's a very small amount of product and you still look, it's very kind of like off-duty model vibes. I feel like that's what you get from this look. So I really do hope you've enjoyed this today. It's a very quick and easy routine, but actually I feel like it's something that a lot of us actually need. I think I've said actually a million times there, but it is something that I feel a lot of people are after. Something which is really easy to wear, easy to do, doesn't use a lot of products, doesn't mean that you're piling too much makeup on either, but it does give you that really nice kind of chic look to your skin, which isn't overloaded. Sometimes we just want to like look really kind of, very kind of like just toned down, but still chic and elevated. And I feel like this is the look for that. So I hope you've enjoyed it. Really excited about the next video, and don't forget to like, subscribe and hit the bell button, and I will see you on the next video.